This is the Rays POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Tampa Bay Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Tampa Bay Rays POSTCAST, your spot for instant Rays reaction after every single game. My name is Jonathan Shields. Make sure you guys go follow me on Twitter at Johnny10Shields. I continue to be very active over there as the Rays continue to be the worst team, and I'm not saying that to be dramatic. It is statistically true, the worst team in baseball in the month of July. And I credit everyone that still comes, to watch this. It just shows that we all share the same frustration, because that's what it is. It's literally, this is how Rays games go. It's either a starter blows up and gives up 5 or more runs, and the bullpen doesn't give up any runs, or in Wednesday's game against the White Sox gives up like 9. Or it is today's case where Pepiot, I thought, was the best I've ever seen him this season. I mean, he was fantastic. His slider was maybe the best I've seen. His changeup was disappearing on people. And, you go and look, and, Taylor Walsh forgets how to play baseball for half a second. And then you bring in your best reliever, who's been your most consistent reliever all year. And, he proceeds to walk the bases low to him and Baker. And then you put in Kevin Kelly in the ninth inning. I don't really know what else you expect to happen but him to give up runs. When you throw 91 miles per hour right down the middle, there's not a lot that isn't going to be going too well for you. So, look, I'm not normally coming on here being like ultra dramatic and all this stuff. Tomorrow is a must-win game. And I always say there's no must-win games in baseball. The Rays still have 57 games left this season. I do not care. Tomorrow is a must-win game for the Rays, because today's performance, like many this month, was pathetic, to be quite honest with you. And we are going to break it all down. We're going to break down how brutal this game was, the walk parade that was, eight walks. When the Reds took the lead, they had 4 runs on 3 hits and an error. What else? What else can you do? It's ridiculous. The Rays are not good enough to overcome mistakes like that. They are not good enough. And multiple times during this stretch, they keep putting themselves in that position. They are not talented enough. They are not good enough in any stretch to beat themselves like the way they did tonight. And the fact that they were still even in the game in the 9th inning before, we had the Kevin Kelly show once again. It's, it's a tiny miracle. And to be honest, I thought Kevin Cash coached the hell out of this game. He managed the hell out of this game. How often do you see him go to pinch hit for Taylor Walsh in that spot? It came through. He goes to his A guys. Baker, it was going to go Baker, Clevenger, Fairbanks. He sets up the A bullpen. All right? There's not – I thought Kevin Cash was fantastic tonight. And, there's going to be maybe a lot of tangents to go on as we go through this one, because it's just rinse and repeat. And if you guys aren't frustrated, if you guys aren't fed up with it at this point, then we're not true fans, and I think we're all kind of in the same boat here. But the first thing we're going to talk about is, and I think that what's being overlooked with how bad the bullpen was again today, was you can't win games scoring 2 runs.
This is what you'll be talking about.
The Rays came back from the All-Star break. Outside, or not even the All-Star break. Let's go since just in June, or in July, They have scored. Since this streak, we'll go to the first game against Detroit. 1 run, 2 run, 7 runs and a win. 3 runs, 4 runs, 0 runs, 1 run. And then they come out and have that great game against Baltimore, 11 runs. 4 runs, 3 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs. They have the 9-0 loss against Chicago. 2 runs, 2 runs. It's not good enough. It is not good enough. And look, it doesn't help that the Rays' highest paid position player ever is made of like wet toilet paper right now. And that's not an indictment on Hyson Kim's toughness. It's just unfortunate that the injuries he's dealt with. And it doesn't help that the best hitter on the Rays this season has gone out back-to-back games. Kind of basically, he got hurt, All-Star break, plays a game and a half, gets hurt again. But there comes a point where you're still major league hitters. You got to go out there and perform. And it gets to a point where the Rays have been so underwhelming offensively. When you have second and third and Christopher Morel up in the top of the 7th inning, you're like, oh, we're not going to score. At least we got the one. Shout out Josh Lowe. That was my exact reaction. I mean, when you have a bottom of the order, when you're 6, 7, 8, 9, and a lot of these guys actually play quite well. But when it goes Jansen, Cabby, DeLuca, Walls, 6, 7, 8, 9, going from that to what it was Magnum, Kim, Josh Lowe, and Jansen. I mean, it is just night and day. And, I'm picking on those guys, even though they manufactured the 7th inning run. But, right now, Aranda has looked like he's just forgotten how to hit. Junior is in another slump where, Junior gets in this stretch where, and I get it, he just turned 22. But with how good of a season he's had, we kind of have to expect more from him, and he's actually was on a pretty big hitting streak before this, but when he's off more than any player. And today, he just wasn't timed up and he was frustrated with it. I mean, you saw it in itself. And you see the passion in it. So again, I don't want to pick on specific players because it's not specific players. It is the entire offense as a collective that's been horrifically bad this month. And we can pick on the bullpen, rightfully so. The bullpen was awful again today. But I wanted to start talking about the offense because I don't think enough people are going to be talking about them. And the fact that they're not putting Kevin Cash and not putting their pitching staff in positions to succeed. When you only score 2 runs in back-to-back games, you're not going to win either one of those games. And it's not been good enough. It has not been good enough. But, when I don't know, guys. I came on yesterday and I really tried to be optimistic. And, it was tough because you knew that Abbott was going today. And even though Abbott went like 6 shutout or 6, you gave the home run to Yandy, 6 innings, 1 run. I didn't think he was like that impressive. Like he fell behind in a lot of counts. First 2 hitters of the game, it was 3 full counts, and there was a lot of that today, and it led to being, I think he ended up walking 3 guys, which is a lot for him. And the reason why the Rays didn't, people are going to say, oh, Abbott, another fantastic start. And he's good. Don't get me wrong. I said yesterday he's probably the most underrated pitcher in the National League. But, man, the Rays should have taken advantage of him. And kind of right then and there, when you're like clawing and scratching to get 2 runs. I mean, it took the Rays everything they had offensively to score 2 runs. Yeah, you just know you're just in a rough spot. But, we're going to talk about that walk parade, how good Ryan Pepiot was. And I'm going to tell you guys the path to how the Rays are not going to sell at the deadline right after this. This episode is brought to you by Game Time. Have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Game Time comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Game Time makes it possible. Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. Price on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch. And they've got incredible last minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. You guys know my favorite part is that Game Time shows you the exact seat that you can get before the game. So you're going to see exactly where you're sitting before you walk into Steinbrenner or wherever you're going to be watching the game. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. Today's episode is also brought to you by Game Day Hue. And so is this hat I'm wearing for the Rays. And for this, guys, I know we talked about it yesterday, but guys, I'm telling you, this is the best hat out right now because Game Day Hue makes it clean, no logo gear with team-inspired colorways for every pro and college fan base. It's about letting your colors speak for you. No giant logos, just smart, versatile style that works on game day. And you guys know, if you live in Florida like me, there is no off season for golf, for tennis, for any sport, for just going on a walk outside. And this hat, if you guys see, is very breathable. It's lightweight. It's not like those heavy kind of, fitted baseball caps that that the Rays wear sometimes. It is fantastic. And also, if you guys are into golf, they guys have the matching golf clubs. And it's a perfect gift for a fan who already has everything. And right now, you guys can get 15% off with code MLB15 at GameDayHue.com. That's GameDayHue.com. The code even stacks on bundle deals. So now's the time to load up. Let your colors talk, because colors speak louder than words. That's GameDayHue.com, code MLB15. So if you guys are in the live, drop a comment. We'll be going to them as we always do. Let me guys know your frustration with the game as well and what frustrates you the most. But we have to get to our turning point in the game, which happened in the 7th inning.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Now it's also time to reveal what happened in the 7th inning. So Brian Baker comes in, big trade the Rays did. Spencer Steer, walk. Fraley struck out looking on a pitch that was the same one to Josh Lowe. And when that Josh Lowe hit came, the Rays caught such a break because it should have been strike 3, And I thought, maybe it is their time. That's fine. Flied out to center. So we have 2 outs, 1 on. Walk. Then Baker gets started. Clevenger comes in. 1-2 count. Walk. Ellie De La Cruz gets up in the count 0-2. Ball. Actually, a good pitch by Clevenger. Slider up and in the zone. Gets the handle to it, and it just drops seamlessly. Steals 2. Another walk. If you guys are keeping count at home, that is 4 walks in 1 inning. Absolutely unacceptable from your A bullpen. This isn't Kevin Kelly. This isn't Cole Suster, he's in AAA. This isn't Forrest Whitley. These are two of your 3 best relievers you have on the roster right now. It is unacceptable in a game of this magnitude for that to happen. And, I'm not even honestly going to speak on it anymore because it is just so frustrating to see the Rays beating themselves. After that inning, I already said it, it was 4 runs on 3 hits. This is Major League Baseball. This isn't, just starting kid pitch at, 10U at Northeast Little League. It is embarrassing, frankly, when that goes on. With it, okay, it's a little bit more understandable if it's like a Forrest Whitley. Is your 3 best relievers? These are guys you're counting on in the biggest games of the year, and they come up so incredibly flat like that. And man, it's just a lot of those pitches weren't even competitive. The one that Joe struck out on wasn't even competitive. Also, it was so far out of the zone. But man, just continues to be kind of brutal for the Rays. But now we went 13 minutes of being incredibly pessimistic. Let's speak a little bit optimistically. We're going to start that talking about Ryan Pepiot, who was just fantastic for the Rays. I'm telling you, he had all 4 pitches working. His slider was the best I've ever seen. I guess technically 5. I know he sprinkled in a cutter too, which, obviously he throws from time to time. But, when you look at Pepiot, kind of everything starts with that fastball. And his fastball was really good. And credit to the Reds. They had some pitches on fastballs that were better than some that they didn't take. I had no idea how they didn't take. But, he threw the fastball 33 times, changeup 23, slider 19, curveball 4, cutter 3, sinker 2. So, it was still predominantly a 3-pitch mix. But when he sprinkled in the other pitches, it was just so effective. And, that changeup was just disappearing on people. It was just really, really good. So, let's talk about the second part. And I really want your guys' reaction to this when I explain it. Aaron Judge goes on the injured list for the Rays. Anyone, if you're following baseball, knows that. If the Rays can manage to win tomorrow, it's going to take a huge bounce back for Shane Baz and in a pitcher that, honestly, the Rays should beat up on in Brady Singer, who has given up at least 3 runs last 2 starts, gave up 7 runs against the Nationals over 2 1/3 last time out. So do with that information what you will. But again, he's still 7.8 with a 4.8 ERA, probably the worst starting pitcher that the Reds have. And they have a good staff. That's nothing against Brady Singer, more to the strength of the staff. This is the path for the Rays. Win tomorrow. Win on Monday. Rasmussen versus the new Yankees pitcher Schiller, who I'm sure I'm butchering his last name. He just made his second start the other day. Rays have the starting pitching advantage. They should win that game. You go, and it's going to be Joe Boyle versus Max Fried, who, again, if you're going to lose a game during the stretch, it's going to be that one. Then it's Will Warren. Rays should win that game. Marcus Stroman, Rays should win that game. The ticket to the Rays not selling, because it's going to go right up to the deadline unless the Rays lose the next 3 games. It's win tomorrow and take 3 or 4 against New York. You put yourself in a position where you're probably going to be around 2 back at that point. Then you have 52 games to play with, and you go. And I'm not saying that's going to cause the Rays to be buyers. It's going to cause the Rays to not sell everyone. It's going to cause the Rays to probably keep Fairbanks, keep Yandy, keep Brandon Lau. And that's the path. I don't think there is I don't think that there is a path for the Rays if it's not that. Maybe you win tomorrow and split with the Yankees and you end up going, right around 500 on the road trip. That would put you at 3-4 on the road trip, and you'd go back 2 games up, and it really depend on what Texas, who's now ahead of the Rays, but they're losing now, and Boston does, who's up 2 runs on the Dodgers right now, and obviously Seattle, who's in that same stretch too. But again, the Yankees are not that far ahead of the Rays. I think they're 4 games up. Yeah, I think they're 4 games up right now. So that's the path for the Rays. If you want to, if you're sick of hearing people saying how bad the Rays are and they're going to sell, here's the path for them not selling. It's what I just said. It's win tomorrow. Nothing starts tomorrow. Nothing begins tomorrow without a win. And then it's going and taking 3 or 4 from the Yankees in New York. Biggest series of the year. The Yankees are 3.5 games, or that's not right. 4.5 games up on the Rays right now. 4 games up on the Rays right now. So it's all right there. Starts with a win tomorrow, though. Let me know in the comments what you guys think to that. Ben, we're going to get to those comments right now, as we will go to Ezra Greener, who says we gave them the game. How depressing it was. It was incredibly depressing. As we go to Groove In, might be his first time commenting, so thank you. He said, "How does the season turn on us so aggressively? Everything going wrong at the right time. It's." I'll tell you exactly how it went wrong. It's the bullpen imploding. It's when the Rays were down. Everyone else that was battling for them for playoff position kind of turned up and got back in the race. In some cases, got ahead of the Rays. And now when those teams are scuffling, like the Red Sox and Mariners are, the Rays aren't taking advantage of their advantageous schedule to gain ground on them. So, that's a synopsis of why. And this is an interesting point. Like, we know about the bullpen struggles. Baptiste also says, why do they continue to roll Kelly out there? But why is Orsi in Durham? That's a fantastic point. I have no idea why Eric Orsi is in Durham. Let's go to Gary. He says, Evan Klosky posted a story by Ken Rosenthal that the Rays would be open to trading Yandy, Brandon Lau, etc. Make it make sense. The new ownership coming in, shouldn't they be the ones to make those decisions? I think Eric Nylander makes those decisions at the end of the day. So I think obviously ownership has to sign off on it, but I don't think anything is going to happen that Eric Nylander doesn't think is going to be best for the team. And no one's untouchable. If you get the right offer for any player, they're going to make the deal. With that being said, just because the Rays were open to trading Yandy last year, just because you're open to trading someone doesn't mean you're going to trade someone. Yandy would probably be the second best bat outside of Suarez with the Diamondbacks available at the deadline. He's going to have an insane asking price if the Rays do indeed trade him. Let's go to Jim Chimura, who again might also be his first time commenting. He says season opening, the Rays did the grenade flip on after the base hits, and out of nowhere they were changing to rubber hands on each side of the head. Why did they make that change when the losing started? I'm not super superstitious like maybe some people are, but it is. I don't, it's they should like to keep it fresh, I guess. I'm not 100% sure, but again, guys, it's we should be frustrated. The Rays have been playing awful right now. They will tell you that. I think there's 57 games left in the season. It starts with the win tomorrow. And then everything's in front of you going into a struggling New York team. And you go take 3 out of 4, you have your season back. If you go split it, it's still there. But, it's time for the Rays to go turn around. And it's on them. No team is going to hand it to them. In fact, the Rays handed the Reds the game today. And you kind of see how that turned out. How are the Rays going to respond to this? Back against the wall. Guys, if they want to stay here, everyone says how, Yandy took a team-friendly deal. Brandon Lau, obviously no one's get traded. Families here. Time to show up. Now is the time. Now is the time to turn the season around, and it starts tomorrow. Thankfully, it's a day game. The Rays don't have to dwell on this too long. and I will be right back here after the game tomorrow. So I appreciate everyone for watching as always, or listening. If you're listening on podcast, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon.